For 6 months, Crystal Krug lived in a state of constant, suffocating fear, believing she was being hunted by a ghost from her past. Her husband, Daniel, played the role of the perfect truck, helping her log every threat and report every explicit message to the Broomfield police. But what seemed like a stalking case was actually a cold-blooded psychological operation. Dan wasn't protecting his wife, he was writing the script for her murder. By creating a fictional version of an old ex-boyfriend, he built a common enemy that forced Crystal to rely on him for safety, all while he was the one pulling the strings of her terror.
He took it himself?
I don't know. I have not responded or engaged at all, but the text messages started on October 2nd. Asking, he ended with that he hoped that I killed myself. Hadn't heard from him at all until today. He sent an email to me with a picture of my husband asking if this was my husband. It's a recent picture of either today or within the last couple of days because it's in his work location with snow on the ground, and saying that he hopes he drives real safe and that nothing gets in his tailpipe. And I again have not responded. So I'm very concerned.
On December 14th, the fiction became a fatal reality. Crystal was ambushed and murdered in her own garage just after the morning school run. Look closely at Dan's behavior as the police arrive. This is what we call information volunteering. Within seconds, before he even sees the body, he is pointing the finger at the stalker in Utah. He is attempting to anchor the investigation to his fiction before the detectives can look at the facts. His grief is loud and performative, a calculated shield designed to make him look like a failed hero rather than a prime suspect.
It's into Boulder every couple of weeks or something like that. It's clearly in Colorado, I just don't know where. And the phone number that he texted me from, again, I will send you all information, including the phone number he texted me from and the email that he sent just today. But that isn't even registered to anybody. So I don't know if it's blocked or spoofed or what it is. And I wouldn't want to. My inclination is to not respond to this or engage with him at all for whatever delusions that he thinks that we're in some kind of relationship 20 years later and I have never even seen him. It's just, this is a little obsessively strange.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And there could be like a slew of reasons of why it's kind of been sporadic over the years. We will never really know until we can try to maybe talk to him, but that's where we can start for right now.
Yeah. And he could be switching vehicles as well if he's having fun trading with a friend.
And so this would be my next question. Are you sure he is actually putting eyes on you and following you, or is he just saying stuff that's specific but general enough that you're like, ooh.
So the only way that
Dan Krug believed his engineering background made him invisible. But technology is an honest witness. The turning point came when digital forensics traced the stalker emails back to the IP address at Dan's own office desk. But the most damning evidence came from his own wrist. Wild and claimed he was at work during the murder. His Apple Health data recorded a frantic burst of physical activity, climbing stairs and rapid movement, at his home at the exact moment Crystal was being killed. The fiction writer had been betrayed by his own pulse, proving he was the one in the garage that morning.
From all directions at any time. It's a lot, and it has definitely made me paranoid everywhere I go, unfortunately. So
no, I can completely understand that.
Very briefly, there was a breakup somewhere here, in the pulse. So I did this kind of pulse, you could see way over here. Last contact I ever had with him, he tried to reach out to me personally, saw him in person, would have been in the spring of 2001. Everything here you're going to see question marks because I'm about? I'm just trying to remember where I was living and where I had kids at the time. It was pretty alarming, right? Where he's we're meant to be together and my family loves that we're talking. I'm whoa, you think that we're in a relationship? Right. So I shut it down real hard. I said, this is really creepy for me. You need to stop. I'm married, happily married with children. You need to stop. And he got real emotional, real hurt. It wasn't angry, but it was hurt and real over the top emotions and then blocked me on, because you can see when somebody blocks you on Facebook, and I'm
The moment the detectives told Dan that the ex-boyfriend had an airtight alibi, the mask finally shattered. The grieving husband vanished, replaced by a cold, calculating narcissist who immediately began attacking the character of the woman he claimed to love. He didn't kill for passion, he killed for control. Today, Daniel Krug is serving life without parole. He tried to write a story where he was the savior and the ghost was the villain. But in the end, the only monster in the room was his own reflection. The story of Christoph Krug is a tragic reminder that sometimes the person claiming to protect you is the one you need protection from the most.
And I immediately got a sense of this something is not, especially after this last interaction where I'm like, you're pretty delusional and you're coming out again of the woodworks and now going above and beyond to really find me. And then when I didn't respond, and you'll see, so this is on Monday, and then when I don't respond, then immediately the next day it just keeps going. Just a lot of like very sexually explicit, very graphic, very like poke the bear kind of thing. And then trying to prove to me that he can follow us.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever mention my kids, by the way. He'll never even acknowledge my kids. Even like when my daughter was first born, like he won't even acknowledge kids. So I think the only thing working for me, maybe kind of in the moment, is I don't think my kids are anything.
I ran out 4:15, 4:20.
Okay.
So I left. I watched the garage door closing,
Okay.
not necessarily closed.
Sure. Okay.
My wife drove that point home, ran up to the store. I came back about 4:55.
Okay.
As I came down, the door was open.
The bigger one or
yeah,
the third?
The double bay.
Got it.
So as I pulled in, I saw someone, I think it was a guy, but it was so fast.
Yeah.
Blue jeans, gray shirt, run out, jump over my gate,
Okay.
and take off that way.
Got it. Okay.
I cared less about following him than getting inside and checking on my kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
My daughter is adamant no one came in the house.
Okay.
She never heard the garage door open. She was in the living room right next to it.
Okay.
My wife and I tested her, and I opened and closed the garage door, and she couldn't hear it over the TV anyway.
Did you notice any tools or anything missing? That's a pretty common item.
No, it's all basic
Okay.
tools anyway, nothing fancy.
Sure.
No tools missing. The bikes are all hanging on the wall still.
Okay.
None of those are gone.
Got it.
Skis are in there, golf clubs. Everything seems to be there,
Okay.
except a spare key.
The house key. Okay. Have like a Ring doorbell or any other cameras or anything?
I have a Nest doorbell. We were
Okay.
checking the camera. Nothing on it.
Any of the background that you are aware of with Anthony? How far back? My understanding is Chris Steele was dating him way back in like 1999, so I don't know whatever information you have over the years.
She dated him prior to her relationship with me, so that ended sometime before summer of 2001. That's when Crystal and I started dating. She and I got married in 2007. Fast forward, still married. I know that they had dated at some point when we were living in our old house, and again, this is in her log that she's given you. He had reached out to her via Facebook, wanted to connect, and she was very open about that with me at the time that he had reached out. She accepted the friend request. You know, who doesn't have friends from high school and college that you don't really talk to? Then he started saying some creepy things, song lyrics, talking about romantic movies. She shut down the conversation with him. She blocked him. I don't know if he blocked her, and kind of went away. And every so often, I can't say there was any real pattern or theme to any of it, he would reach out to her again. Again, always via social media. That stopped when she got rid of social media. I feel like that was pre-COVID, that she dropped her Facebook account, and then the series of events over the last few weeks.
Okay, gotcha. And I guess at what point did she tell you that he recontacted her this last time?
It was either November 1st or November 2nd. It was after she had gotten a picture of me at work.
Okay.
That she brought me up to speed on that.
Gotcha, okay. And the first contact that he initially made with her was back on October 2nd. I guess why that month gap, do you think, before she told you?
I'm trying to remember from some of the details from the log that she's keeping. I'm guessing that it was creepy, but not real. You know, lots of people are jerks online, sure. Other than that, I'm sure she has mentioned to you that she and I are going through a rough patch, kind of on the rocks. So probably didn't seem that pressing.
And then hearing hours. What did she say when you?
She told me she was leaving early, coming home late. She said sometimes she had to pick up dinner or talk to Mars or never just straight kick man. Because
I remember having that conversation.
Was going to kick his ass.
I remember having that conversation with you. What, do you remember that email address that she didn't tell you about?
It's in the log. I didn't have to remember it's in the log. Something kicks. You have the log, right? Yeah, I do have the log.
Make sure I'm getting the timeline right again. She didn't tell you about this a month before it even got reported to me. Or was there a new something that you were unaware of between the time it was reported to me and now?
I don't remember when she went to you. She visualizing the log. She got and reached out early October. I don't. She told me after Halloween.
Okay. When was the last time you talked to Crystal? Has it been a while?
It's been a minute, yeah.
Like since you moved from Durango? Yeah. So that would have been what, back in 2014?
Yeah.
Have you had any contact with anybody in that area since? Anybody, or have they contacted you at any time?
No.
I'm going to give you a phone number, and it's to a sergeant with the Broomfield Police Department. He would like you to reach out and talk to him. They have an incident. I don't know the full details of their incident out there, and so I'll let him talk to you about that aspect. He had asked us to come out here to your house and talk with you. They were debating on, you do have an active warrant out of Broomfield Police Department, and they were debating on if they were going to have us arrest you or not. They are not going to have us arrest you on it. I'm going to advise you of the fact that you do have a warrant out of Colorado, and you can talk to this sergeant about the details of it, if that makes sense.
Jack appears to be possibly intoxicated during this interview and surprised by the police questioning.
So that's just because you got that active warrant. I don't know the details of the stalking warrant. It's a stalking warrant. You can talk to him about that as well. Just when you call that number, that's his cell phone, just talk to him. Introduce yourself.
From here, there's no way he could have made that drive. If he flew, we would have record of that. Doesn't show up on any sort of flight record through the FBI, DEA, Homeland Security, anything like that. And then, in fact, he was contacted in his house, severely intoxicated.
All this time that we've been looking for him for the protection order, and you just found him today, like that?
Because I've been looking at you, but I've been waiting for these records to come back.
Chasing the wrong dog.
It sounds like you.
We have a lot of information that points your direction, and we were hoping that you could provide a legitimate explanation other than it wasn't.
I have two different voices going through my head right now. I have my brother Matthew. Yeah, I've mentioned him. He's the sheriff's lieutenant. And I have his voice saying, talk to the police. And in typical cop fashion, he married a prosecutor. So I have Lynn's voice in my head going,
What's going on with you guys? Because it seems like there's been a lot of stress on your relationship.
We are not in a good place.
Okay.
We have not been in a good place for a while.
Okay.
I told her I wanted counseling. She said no.
And when was that?
Oh.
Sort of ultimatum? Long time ago?
Yeah, months.
Okay.
We live together. We have joint finances. We obviously co-parent the kids. We do maintain separate bedrooms. That's kind of where we are in the ebb and flow of a relationship.
Okay. So
it's tough enough to say this. Just let me get it out.
Sure.
So other than talking about the kids, there hasn't been a lot of dialogue for a little while. I can't put a time frame on it. It hurt me that she didn't tell me about the stalker when it started, but she brought me in right away once he sent her a picture of me. And I think that was Halloween.
Okay.
So she told me the next day. I was definitely hurt and angry that she was keeping that as a secret. She said that she'd been confiding in her brother Lars, and so.
Did she ever tell you why she didn't tell you that?
She told me I wanted access to her logs. I wanted to know what the conversations were with Martinez. And at that point, she brought me fully up to speed, and I saw the horrible messages. I saw the ad, all that crap. And that's when she and I started working on game plans. Again, what do we do to protect family, to protect the kids, define your threat level so that we had a clear plan of attack. We could just say, we're at nuclear, that's a full lockdown, here's what it means. We're at red, here's what that means. I got to a point where it wasn't an ultimatum, but it was I had her as a partner to protect the family, but it didn't feel like a partner who valued me. And I told her at that point, I didn't want to die for someone who didn't care about me anymore.
That's really hard.
And I told her I wanted a divorce.
And when did that conversation happen?
Weeks ago, before Thanksgiving.
Okay. And how did she take that?
Angry, obviously. Mostly anger that I said it now, with everything else going on. So she said she didn't want to talk about it until all of this was done. And then he got quiet. And we just kind of sat in that. And so how do we secure the house? How do we start the process?
So can I just ask, what do you think happened today with Christine? What do you think? What's your theory?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta have one. I mean, I'm sure a million different thoughts have run through your mind. What do you think happened?
She was in the kitchen. She would have had whatever meetings that she had. And then she said she was meeting with you. But you know nothing about that, so I don't know what the that is. What's his name? The other detective said that the cameras were turned off. That shouldn't happen. The only way that the cameras can be turned off is through the app. One of us has to hit the button. Internet outage will cause something that doesn't turn them off. It just interrupts the feed for a couple minutes. He said they were turned off, and one of them looks like it has something in it. So, in my brain, I'm thinking someone made a move against her. I don't know where the dog is. He's somewhere in the house. Really jumpy, skittish dog. She has a gun that she carries around. It's always in one of 3 places. I guess 4. It's either on her. She has 3 different holsters now. It's either on her. If she's in her office, it's on the filing cabinet directly behind her. If she's anywhere else on the first floor, it's on here. The high counter next to the upstairs, it is sitting next to the headboard. So, in my brain, someone came to the door. It's Christmas time. I have Amazon packages being delivered every damn day. Someone came to the door. She doesn't usually answer the door, but she must have, because she must have. So in my brain, the story that I have is someone came to the door. Maybe she went outside to get a package, and they must have come in. She would have fought. That's why I warned that she has an appointment to get her license surprised, but without a doubt, she fought.
Explain the cameras being turned off then, if it's some mystery man. Because I'm also pretty sure that Google's going to be able to tell us what device turned those cameras off. Of that information that we've been able to receive today, a little bit, concerning, I guess. The Gmail account that you can speak more specifically.
And that text now number we were talking about, the number that he initially texted Christine from. The Gmail account, the Kickman account that you guys initially received with the photo of you in it, and the phone number, those originated through their IP addresses at your office.
It doesn't make any sense. Well, he took the photo of me at my office.
Right. But both of those accounts originated from IP addresses that list back to your office.
I don't know what to do with that.
Well, tell us about the IP address. Do you know anything about the network or anything at your work?
I do money.
Yeah, I know, but here, believe me, I know nothing about tech stuff. That's why I keep looking to him to explain this crap.
There are Wi-Fi access throughout the facility for employees, and there's public Wi-Fi access. access throughout the entire facility.
Okay.
CPHE guest, I think is what it is. And we literally post the passwords in every meeting room.
Okay.
The board meeting I was running yesterday, I can literally pull up the video because I have to record it. And on a table in the back of the room, giant paper that says what the Wi-Fi is and what the password is.
What's the IP address on your computer on your desk?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm going to throw this idea out there. You know Anthony has reached out to her in the past a number of times.
She's been very open about that, yes.
Right. The last time was 2016-ish. He had asked her at one point if she wanted to have sex.
I think he's approached her multiple times.
Right. So this next time, if there's any bit of question about infidelity, whether it's with Anthony or anybody else, we might create an account to see if we can create a facade or see if Christine's actually interested in Anthony. So we ask her and push the bounds a little bit and see if that will confirm our suspicions of infidelity. You don't get the response and the openness you once did for about 28 days, from October 2nd to October 31st. So you amp it up a little bit. Send a photo of yourself to her at an account you created. See what her response is.
I mean, the IT department, in fact, I can go check on where we're at with those records, but a lot of this stuff is going to shine through. My hope is just that we can at least be honest about those things and agree that maybe this started out the way that it was reported and then maybe it turned into something different.
Because that would suggest that I would put my children through this. We were drilling the kids on what to do if we set them up, that they had to pair up, they had to run. I'm looking into for the kids, figure out when the heck to start that, the narrative you're putting together. But it alleges that I would do this to my children.
But I think ultimately it would bring you the closest to your children that you probably have ever been in your mind.
I'm very close to my children. I take Ella to dance class. We hang out, we do our puzzles together. Malcolm and I, to me, rather than next to Christine. Lorelai and I read her Harry Potter. Love and adore my children.
You're afraid to lose time with them.
If you were watching these facts unfold in front of you in a movie, what would you say happened? That was able to turn off the cameras, that was able to access the password-protected system to turn off cameras, that was able to use your IP address from your work to create accounts, to send messages and photos, to act as a stalking suspect. Well, tell me. Help me make sense of it.
I don't know. I'm not the one who does this. I'm analytical at work, and I read and write fiction at home. I don't do crime drama. I don't know what it is. I want to go see my children. I've explained this to others. In my family, when bad things happen, we don't scatter. I want to see my children. What are we done here?
Well, that's up to you. I mean, I think we still have a lot of unanswered questions. But, I mean, I'd like to know what happened this morning. I'd like to know
Me too.
what caused you to get so upset to hurt your wife, because I believe that's what happened. I believe that you've been, because there's no other logical explanation.
I want to know what happened. Did she fight? Did she get shots on? Where was she in the house? I have Linda, who said that they were doing CPR in the garage. That's all I know. So tell me, did she fight? Did she get shots off? Where is she in that house?
We haven't been there to know. And there's only one person in this room that can tell us. Detective King Solomon and I have been here with you.
I think you know the answer to all those questions. And I think that the evidence will show us that, but we're not there to look at it because we're hopeful that you're going to tell us the truth about what happened. And finally, show your wife that you truly do love her by coming clean on all this stuff. The boyfriend killed her, though. Because if the boyfriend wanted to be with her, I don't know, I've seen a lot of crime drama. I know you don't. But if the boyfriend wanted to be with her, he would want to eliminate you. And I don't think they can mistake you for her. I mean, I don't think you guys look alike. So, I mean, why would a boyfriend who is spending time with, let's just use your theory, probably having sex with, probably good sex because it's affair sex, probably hearing her talk about how she wants to divorce you and is making plans to divorce you. Why in God's name would that boyfriend then come over to her house and kill her? I think you got confirmation or found out that she had a boyfriend this morning, or something happened that pissed you off, and you did something that you regret now because you can't go back. And you can't go back to, stalking her secretly or pretending to be her stalker or making plans, having cooperation with one another, although it's not romantic, having cooperation with one another to fight together against Caveman. That's what I think happened. And I think it's a shame that you're not being more honest about it because your wife deserves it.
I've answered all of your questions that I can. Please let me know when I can return to my house. I need to figure out what the heck to do for it all. I need to take care of my children. You have your theory. It is wrong.